I decided today to wear my mask just to show you that I'm doing the same thing you're doing. Anytime I'm around people I need to wear my mask with, outside of family. It's a hard way to live, but you know, we got a lot of pretty masks now that we wear. And I hope that each one of you got my note and got a mask. And if anyone has a need of a mask, please let us know here at the church, because we have other children's masks we can get for you. So I want you to be safe. I'm going to take it off to read to you though. We're going back in the Old Testament, which we've been in for about our last 8 stories. Or 6 stories anyway, and this one is about Noah, so this goes way back. It's in the Old Testament. It's one of the first stories that that God tells us about the Jewish people and the world as it was at that time. So this is called the Story of Noah. You've probably heard the story so many times, but it never hurts to repeat. They're wonderful things to read. Long ago, the people of the earth turned their backs on God, much like some of the people in our world today have done. They hurt each other so much it broke God's heart. I do believe God is sad when we don't behave ourselves. If God told the people to do one thing, they tried to come up with a plan to do just the opposite. Everybody disobeyed God except for one man. Bet you can guess what his name is. He's the hero of our story. Noah loved God with all his heart, even though everyone around him did mean, rotten things. Noah was kind and good. When God told Noah to do something, Noah did it. That's what made him happy. Noah did all he could to raise his family according to God's commands. God always keeps his promises, Noah told his sons Shem, Ham, and Japheth time and time again. See, he's sitting at the table praying with dinner. Noah was a very obedient man to God. One day God spoke to Noah. Noah, I'm going to cover the earth with water in a worldwide flood. But I'm making you a promise. I'll keep you and your family safe. See, God was just fed up to his ears with the way people were acting on earth, and he decided the only way that he could get his kingdom going the way it needed to be was to destroy what was already there. Then God told Noah, build a giant boat. It was called an ark, made out of wood. Noah had so much trouble picturing what an ark would look like because he'd never seen one. God gave him all the details. You'll have to make rooms and stalls, an upper, middle, and lower deck, windows, and a door in the side of the ark. Noah did everything just as God had commanded. There he's picking up all the wood. So Noah set about building the ark. What are you building? Asked his neighbors. God told me to build an ark, said Noah, and that's just what I'm doing. An ark, said one bearded man, scoffing. In the desert? Are you crazy? God is sending a flood to cover the whole earth, Noah said, hammering a spike into a board. A flood? Then all the people burst out laughing. Years went by with no rain. Many years passed. People came from miles around to laugh at Noah and his ark. But Noah knew God always keeps his promises, so he did everything God commanded him to. You imagine the laughing that was going around this big old boat that Noah, and it was the middle of the desert, so there was no water out there. Finally, Noah finished the ark. God said, okay, Noah, now it's time to gather the animals. A pair of every beast and fish and bird. 1 week from today, I'm going to bring the rain. Boy, that's a big job. So Noah brought the animals to the ark, a boy and girl of every creature. 2 by 2, the animals marched up the ramp and into the ark. Noah did everything that God commanded him to. Oh, that we could just behave with God as much as Noah did. We still like to have our own way. It's time, Noah told his family. Just as soon as Noah, his wife, and their sons and their wives boarded the ark, God slammed the door of the ark shut. Noah listened. Above the gentle moo of the cows and the quack of the ducks, Noah thought he heard something. First, a plink plunk, then a rat-a-tat, then a clatter as rain struck the earth with violent force. Look at all those people that were laughing at him. They're not laughing at him now, because the rain is coming. For 40 days and 40 nights, now that's over a month, it rained and poured. Noah and his family were safe inside the ark. Noah felt the ark rise higher and higher as the water got higher and higher, above the trees, above the mountains. After 40 days, Noah listened, but he could no longer hear the pinging of the roof of the ark. The rain had stopped. For 5 more months, the ark floated until it came to rest on top of Mount Ararat. Months later, Noah looked out the window over the vast waters. He could see the tops of the mountains poking through. Look at that storm and then that little tiny dark ark right in the middle of it all. I'll send out a bird, Noah said. He chose a dove, a timid little bird of peace. If she finds dry land, she will stay away, and we will know that the earth has dried, he said. Out flew the little dove, but she found no dry land and returned to the ark. A week later, Noah sent the dove again in search of dry land. That night the dove returned, but this time Noah saw she had something in her mouth, an olive leaf. Noah knew now that the dove had found a tree. The land was beginning to dry. So we got the little dove down here, and then we got the dove bringing a piece of the olive tree back to Noah. Why do you think he knew then that there was land? Because you can't have a tree in the ocean, can you? See, there's fish down here. And so he found a tree on dry land. So that gave Noah a great promise. When Noah set the dove out a week later, he was not surprised that she failed to return. The dove had found dry land and was making her nest in an olive tree. It's time to come out, Noah, God told him. Noah opened the door. Out flew the birds, 2 by 2. Carefully the animals walked down the ramp in pairs, kicking up their heels when they set foot on dry land. Last out of the ark came Noah and his family. They praised God for the sunshine on their faces and the dry land and fresh grass at their feet. They thanked God for always keeping his promises. That's one thing we can know for sure from God, that if he makes a promise to us, he will keep it. Then God said, "Look up in the clouds." Noah looked up at the most beautiful arc of colors, a rainbow. Have you ever seen a rainbow? I've had the opportunity to see double rainbows a couple times, and they are just, every time I look at them, I think of Noah and the promise from God. "This is a sign of my promise to you," God said. "When it appears in the sky, I will look down on the rainbow and remember my promise to never again flood the whole world." So when you see a rainbow, remember that God is looking from the other side of that rainbow. It is his promise to you forever. Isn't that beautiful? I'm sure you've all colored a rainbow before. I just think that this is one story that is just so important as far as our life with God, because he makes promises to us. They don't always come true when we want them to come true, but they always will come true in God's time. And that's an important thing to remember. So I'm going to put my mask back on, and I hope you do too. And I want to say goodbye for now, and I will see you in a couple weeks. You have a good week. Bye-bye.